Greetings, this is Michael W. Ford. Today, I'm very happy and pleased to announce the forthcoming publication around October 31st of my new work, The Myrkrian Rites, Runes and Trollskapr. This work is illustrated by Bloodfire Ritual Art, Chris Undaheimer, who has conceptualized and assisted in what I'm formulating in this work. Now, this grimoire is based on the northern Scandinavian, Germanic, and even Anglo-Saxon Gnosis, based on the Eddas and different mythologies, but also magical practices that are known. And they're formulated in a way that is without a stretch, completely in line with Luciferian philosophy. What you won't find in this grimoire, just like within my older works, Drauga and similar ones, is a mention of really Lucifer or any of that pantheon concept or tradition in the Western demonology aspects. This is all focused on Runa and the mysteries of the North. Now, this work is not an embrace of neo-paganism per se, or any of the completely darker aspects. It's a balance. And I'll tell you, it's completely left-hand path, and it really draws on decades of my studies and my practices as a cycle over different periods of time. And a few years back, I had confirmed and affirmed to myself that this has to occur, this has to happen. It's part of my initiation. So what you're going to see is not a complete exhaustive study of Germanic and Norse lore and practices, because if you're very interested in the extensively published areas, I would tell you that Edward Thorson or Stephen Flowers is the pinnacle of the history, the study of the history of all Germanic, Norse, runic lore, magic, and so forth. Freya Aswin is also one I'd mention. And according to the Thurses mysteries for those interested in the vastly more extreme of the dark aspect, my work is, within the Luciferian context, a balance of those things. Now, I explore the rebellious powers of the Thurses, the origins of the Witches Sabbat in such lore as the Myrk-riða, or darkness, riders of darkness, the Vargúlfr, the werewolf, and the Kveld-riða, the ecstatic shamanistic transformations of the spirit journey via meditation, dream projection, and so forth. Utilizing the draconian-serpent hamr, or shape, which is entitled the Ormslíki Dreka-líki, or dragon form, in deep meditations. The methods of invoking the primal energies and knowledge of the Hrimthurses, and those aspects of Niflheim and Muspellheim, the Jötunn and the Yggdrasil, or the tree composing the 9 worlds. All of these are within a initiatory context of embracing the darkness, the ice, and the fiery aspects, the destructive Thurses, concentrating energy and using it in a balanced way for inner transformations, burning away ego traps, oppression of thoughts, limitations in that sense, burning those things away and understanding the crystallized aspect of the psyche and going from that. The primal darkness and fiery light of the Thurses are balanced in the lore and myths of the Aesir, the Vanir, and the Alfur, having ambivalent forces that are creative and destructive. The theory and practice of self-ambivalent transformational aspects by embracing and understanding darkness and fiery light is veiled within the esoteric lore of the goddess Gulvig and Seidr. And within this work, the arts of Galdur, seidr, Trollskapr, and others are presented. Chant meters are presented, and how these are methods of rhythm in chanting, uniting will, desire, and belief. The Jötunn powers of chaos of Loki, Angerboda, and their offspring, Fenrir, Hel, and draconian-serpent, are described in the rites and the Galdur chants of summoning and possessing this primal energy that may be used in devotional works and concentrated towards the will of the Vikti warlock or Vargúlfr, the witch. Seidr is very important in this, in the terms of trance, ecstatic, movement, rhythm, and meditation for the projection of the body of darkness or shadow, the astral form. The embrace of Muspellheim and Niflheim, the fire and ice and mist, are to understand our primal origins from chaos into creation. Now, this work is balanced with a study of the darker aspects of Odin, rather than focusing on the All-Father or any such thing. I'm very focused on the many epithets of Odin as different masks, if you will, a grimoire. The initiatory teachings of Runa, the mysteries, and how the runes are understood, used in formulas of spells and magical workings of the inner and outer world, how they are inscribed in what kind of sequential ordering of those. Consecrating. Odin is presented as an excellent model of the left-hand path, initiate, even with the countercasting of the circle of Antheles or Withershins, to seek communion and power with the Myrkrian Rite of Niflheim and Sutrian light of Muspellheim, and the dark art of necromancy, and Odin's knowledge of Dragardrotin, or the Lord of Ghosts, and the undead. With that, in terms of exploring the 9 worlds as an inner journey, the jaws of Fenrir and the sword of Surtr bring forth destruction that is held to all that is sacred, and the gods of order, the Aesir and Vanir, consumed in fiery darkness in the abyss, in order that the Vikti and Volva, the initiate, may shed the trappings of self and refine consciousness. Like Jorgmundur or the Midgard serpent, akin to the Ouroboros, there is a cycle which is destroyed and that can be again created in new form. The Ulfhedar, or the wolfskins, and various paths of Runa mysteries are explored in this work. Devotions to Loki, Hel, Kulivek, Seidr. All of these aspects are presented, and there is a more forbidden, dark aspect, and that is the path of Valgaldar, or corpse spells, necromancy, and vampire magic bind runes, which vampirism is not known in Old Norse lore, but the Dragar are kind of a precursor in that area for the concept of vampirism, or consuming energy, not blood, energy, life force, Olmt. These aspects and bind runes are presented, and how this can be used to drain energy and build and concentrate power. This is in the later parts of the grimoire, and is certainly forbidden and dark. The text weaves together Norse, Germanic, and Anglo-Saxon lore and traditions. There are offering rituals, chants or galdur, and practical techniques for gradual self-mastery, magical initiation, and spiritual liberation. The Myrkrian Rites is more than just a book. It is a gate, or a potential invitation to forge or inspire the forging of your own path, to honor the spirits of nature and their ancestors, and awaken the black flame within, to calling and invoking the Thurses and primal powers of darkness, chaos, and fire. And I have to say that this journey is much like an Ouroboros, and I began studying Northern mysteries and runes in a very rudimentary form in 1994, 93, 94, and over the period of time over many years. And I have to say, this has been a full circle in terms of the experience of my works in the Witches Sabbat and witchcraft areas of Luciferianism. Anyway, please stay tuned here on this channel. Please like, subscribe, I appreciate it. Luciferian Apotheca will offer the hardcover and softcover and potentially color edition, as well as all the major book outlets that Succubus Productions Publishing distributes through. Thank you very much. Please spread this work as much as your interest and passion allows. And until next time, Banama Aram.